Hi, Elizabeth Louise.
Hi.
We're going to check on her experiment to see how it went.
Let's see the water. It's the regular water.
There's regular water. Okay. And those swelled up to regular size?
Yep.
And then here's the salt water. Okay. You know what you should do? Put one like right there in front. Okay. I guess it didn't have to be one, but just so we can compare and keep them in order of.
You know, let's find sugar.
And this is the
sugar
water. And then this one is the
Gatorade.
The Gatorade.
Oh, it's sticky.
It's sticky?
Yeah.
Okay, so that one is salt water. You predicted that the salt water would be what?
The biggest.
The biggest. And it's actually, put it next to the Gatorade and see.
They're actually kind of the same size.
And this one here, that's the salt water. So it's actually smaller than the Gatorade.
Yeah.
But how about the sugar and the regular water?
Sugar and the regular water? The water one wins.
The sugar water one is just a little bit smaller.
Yep.
And the salt water is the smallest. But you know what we could do today? We could do this experiment again, like this afternoon, so that it can sit all night. But we should control it a little bit more.
Right?
Because you just did
Salt
3
water.
twists of this.
I did a few more at the end.
Okay, and then do you remember how much sugar you put in the water?
I put in about... half of this.
Half of that? Okay. So what we should do, I'm thinking, and this is your experiment, so if you don't want to do it, that's fine. But in order to get more accurate results, because we already know that the salt water is smaller, and we could probably maybe Google and figure out why that happened.
Then can we do, like, put it in watery ketchup?
In ketchup?
In watery ketchup?
Watery ketchup? I don't know. We could try that.
Watery
But I was thinking, the amount of salt and the amount of sugar, you can control how much you put in there just by using a measuring spoon. Maybe a teaspoon or half a teaspoon or whatever you think you should put in there. But maybe we should put the same amount of salt water and the same amount of sugar and salt in the water, and make sure that we have the exact same amount of water in each container. That way they're all exact, and then we can think about why and try to come up with a reason why the water bead, the salt water bead, is smaller.
And why the Gatorade one is stickier than the sugar.
Yeah. So I think we should, let's talk about what makes those beads grow bigger.
The water.
The water?
Yeah.
What happens to the water?
The beads absorb it and they grow.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The beads absorb the water, just like a sponge, although a sponge doesn't get bigger when it absorbs water, but it gets heavier. But those beads, they absorb the water. Exactly right. So for some reason, the saltwater bead, what's the difference between the saltwater bead and the regular one?
It has salt in it.
Yeah.
Water has salt in it.
So do you think the saltwater bead absorbed as much water as the regular bead? as the control bead?
No, I think it absorbed more salt.
Maybe.
My brother's calling me.
Okay. So later today, we will recreate this experiment if you want to.
Okay, but can we do different things?
And then we can do some different fluids too. Okay. Good work, Elizabeth.